Governments around the world are considering taxing red meat like tobacco in an effort to curb climate change.
Here's a summary of the article.
Like sugar, red meat has been linked to an increased risk of cancer, heart disease, stroke and diabetes, which Fitch said laid the groundwork for similar taxes. A meat tax could emerge as a policy sibling to the sugar tax, supported on the basis that meat does play a role in a balanced diet but overconsumption is a public health issue, it concluded. Unlike sugar, the justification for restricting people's appetite for meat relates to broader issues than just health, with climate change, deforestation, and ethical concerns all looming large in the minds of consumers. The production of meat, and especially red meat, is responsible for much of that. Meat alternatives have begun going mainstream, with companies like Beyond Meat enjoying considerable success. We are already witnessing consumers cut back on red meat across a number of developed markets globally, supported by the increasing popularity of vegan, vegetarian and flexitarian diets. Younger, urbanized consumers are the main drivers of meat-free diets, suggesting that this will be a long-term trend, Fitch said. Introducing a tax on meat would likely accelerate this trend, encouraging consumers to moderate consumption of red meat by switching to poultry or plant-based proteins.
This post received a score of 22,511, with an upvote ratio of 76%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
One place mentioning governments taxing meat is, yes, the end of that paragraph really is missing. The Buy article then pulls in a report about a German proposal to tax meat. It later points out that meat as a commodity probably is in a growth market, except perhaps poultry. Also, beef consumption is dropping in many countries and artificial meat may be a threat.
This is from Business Insider after all. Whoever came up with that tabloid's name is a genius, people automatically take them seriously.
This is such a bullshit headline. A firm of analysts comes up with an idea if something that could possibly happen, publishes it along with a bunch of public policy data on taxation driving consumer spending habits, which is known behavior, and has been for 30+ years, and suddenly that transforms into governments are considering. Fucking free advertising for Fitch is pretty much all this is.
That's Buy for you. It's business sounding clickbait.
Weren't they going to begin farming that reg algae seaweed that stop cows from producing methane?
It's not just methane, the amount of forest land cleared to feed the animals is also a factor.
They should just make underground multi-level farms, it works in Minecraft.
If you think Americans like guns a lot, wait till they try and take away their burgers. LMAO.
There'd be another revolution.
That sounds like one of the weakest reasons to get that angry that I've ever heard.
It's odd that commenters are instantly against a tax for combating climate change, when it targets something they like. It is quite extreme just how much pollution cows create. People will switch to cheaper meats for day-to-day meals. I already chose to eat other meats more often over beef.
Greater than red meat is a particularly big polluter. It is quite extreme just how much CO2 cows create. Animal agriculture accounts for maybe 5% of global CO2 emissions, but it accounts for 44% of both methane and N2O emissions. These things are fucking 16x and 298x times more powerful than CO2 emissions of a comparable quantity. To get 1 pound of beef requires 4x as much water as an equal pound of almonds, which is already renowned as a water-thirsty crop. Meat just isn't sustainable in any industrialized form.
Greater than meat just isn't sustainable in any industrialized form. It's worth keeping in mind that non-industrialized production of meat usually is even less sustainable.
Meat should just be a luxury item. So much meat is wasted on garbage like fast food. Then again, how we gonna feed our cats?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.